guys, what's up? Yeah, this is not going to be a very long live stream. I just wanted to pop on here real quick and let you guys know what's happening. We'll go over a few things and just take a look at a couple different things at what's going on, okay? Hey, Arizona. Giggles, what's up? Apple, Remnant, 2Tim, CW's in the house. Alright guys, I'm just going to kind of skip all that for now. I just want to get this out real quick. We had a decent, well, it's a big one. And right now they got it at a 10 kilometer depth. Alright. 7.7 earthquake. It's in the Loyalty Islands, southeast of the Loyalty Islands. We can zoom in here. But you can see where this hit. Now, again, this is on a boundary line. It's not like it's in a weird spot. It's just this definitely is a big one. And there is tsunami threat. Okay? Yeah. We don't like to see that. It's just a threat. So that would be probably the lowest level of like a, hey, we might be having a tsunami. Yeah. It was 7.7, guys. That's what the official, what it's coming in at right now. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it's obviously it's over the water. So it's not going to be like in a highly populated area. But with it having this along with it, if this wasn't there, I probably wouldn't be doing the live stream right now. But I just want you guys to see this because it definitely, this is not, we don't usually see these things, even with the big ones sometimes. If they think it's, warranted enough to actually do that, typically stuff's moving around. Now, it doesn't, like I said, it's not saying that there is a tsunami. What it's saying is, it was issued a threat. You can see how the things go up here. Threat, watch, advisory, and warning. I don't know exactly what the step or the protocol is as far as what would have to happen to get these other levels. But we can, this is let's click on that. Let's see what we got. Breakpoint marker. I don't even know what that is, just to be honest with you. I don't have any clue what that means. But what I can say is, and I don't mean to laugh, that's the marker. I guess that's probably where the equipment is that's reading that. They're going to go off of buoys and stuff like that. Plus, it has to be in the right position. It has to shake right. It has to slip the right direction. All that stuff has to happen to have a tsunami, even when it's out in the middle of the water. Yeah, we have to check the buoys and see what's going on with all that. Obviously, some of the buoys had to have done something. If it didn't do anything at all, you wouldn't be seeing this. So we can let's do this real quick. I think Mr. MBB3 has it on his webpage to where we can go look at the buoys. Let me check. Seismos, Hillstone, Schumann. Okay, X-ray. Maybe not. So what we'll do, hold on, give me 1 second. We can just do this. It won't take long to do this. I thought I had a shortcut to it, but, I don't go there enough to really worry too much about it. Let me turn my cap locks off. Oh my goodness. UOY. Buoy. Real time. National Data Buoy Center. That's probably where we want to go. Yep. We probably could have got there from NOAA also, just so you know. But yeah, yeah, there's definitely stuff. Oh wow, check it out. You guys seeing that? Yeah, it's not. That's not. I don't like that. I ain't saying it's a big deal or anything, but I don't like it because the earthquake was here. We got buoys going off way over here. That's close to Taiwan. Obviously, that's mainland China right there. But the earthquake itself was down here. So when you got these buoys this far apart in event mode, which is what that means, okay? When they're blinking like this, that means they're in event mode. So, you know, I'll tell you what, let's click on them. Because you can click on them and get data here. Oh, man. Yeah, that thing's moving. You got, you get, obviously this is wave height, and it's what it's doing is it's telling you the peak and the minimum of how it is. So it's giving you a range basically. And these things are, they're set to be at sea level. So wow. I don't, here, this is what they look like, in case you guys were wondering. And they anchor them to the sea floor, so they stay there. They stay pretty much fixed. So if they're seeing movement too much there, that's when they go off into event mode. But that doesn't, again, let me say this first. It doesn't mean that there's a tsunami, at least a big one. Now this, it could be. I don't know. So what we're gonna do with it just being an alert. Now, if it was something that was most definitely going on, first off, you know what would happen? It would be all over the news. No matter where you looked, if there was a big tsunami happening, you would see it everywhere. People would be just all over top of it. Now, again, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to be responsible about this and not make a big deal about it until we know what's going on. Because that's just as bad as the other, I have to say. What I did find was kind of a little bit of something we can talk about here that could, because it happened, that's at Central Time, guys. So this thing happened about an hour and a half ago, hour and 40 minutes ago. And given that fact, and you got this still happening, they haven't pulled it down yet. That means that, they're not confident yet of what's going on here. As soon as they're confident that there ain't no threat, they yank that down. They don't like having that up, for obvious reasons. So if you look at this, and we can go look at the shake map and do all those kinds of things here. And again, it's out in the middle of the water. All right, but this is something else I want to show you too that I noticed when I was over here and was looking at it. Obviously, we're going to have aftershocks, right? But I want to show you guys some stuff here that might help put some stuff into perspective for a few people. If you look at what we got going on around the rest of it. Now, if you remember what I said yesterday, what did I say yesterday in my video? Did it look like we weren't having that much activity? And what I always say, when we're not having much activity, we better be looking for a big one. A bigger one, I should say. And, and to top it all off, hey, Mr. Goody, what's going on? Yes, it is. There is, and that's what we're getting ready to talk about. He's talking about there is a CME coming our way too. It looks to be. Hey, what's going on, Susan Ann? You're down in. Are you down in that? What coast are you on, or are you in the middle somewhere? Because this just happened off the coast of Australia, guys. And if Susan Ann, were you able to feel that or not? I'd be curious to know if you're willing to say. I got something to show you there, Smith, here in a few minutes. Yo, you're on the east coast of it? Okay, wow. Did you feel it? Just curious. Because that would be on the side that you would feel that if you were going to. We could go, let's do this real quick. We'll go here. We'll go to, let's go to the pager button here. And again, this is where they put estimated fatalities and economic loss. Obviously, they're going to put zeros here because it's over the water. There ain't nobody, it's not in a populated area. But the fact that it was a 7.7, obviously the shaking is going to go out pretty far. Well, look at that. 225,000 people felt light shaking. That's what this is saying. So what that means is it's obviously where the land and the islands and stuff are, it shook hard enough that they felt it that far away. You can go over here and see where it was felt at, I suppose, over here. It looks like Vanuatu, there were some earthquakes there too. So let me show you this first before we move on. I started seeing this a little while ago, and I really didn't think much about it. Okay, guys, we started seeing a rash of 5s all over the planet. I mean, it just started look. Okay, we start here, we go here, we go here. Just a bunch of 5s. A ton of them. Pretty close together here. Okay. That was close to the excuse me. That was just after the turn of midnight there. Okay, Eastern time, I have to say. No, I felt nothing, but it's early hours. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you might have been in bed or something. Yeah, I gotcha. But check this one out. There's a 6.2 right there. There's a 5.0. Now, don't forget, we had a 4 here in Texas yesterday. That's a big one for that area. Then you get this one kind of out of place. That's a 4.5 in the Congo. And something else, we actually had 4 shocks for this thing. Okay? Because if you look at it, when I first seen it, where was the first one I was actually looking at this when it happened? I think it was this one. That would have been over here. But if you start following these up, that one there. Okay, then you start getting down here. These are in order by time. Okay? So, and then we start getting that one to that one. And then there it starts here. These are 4 shocks right here. You had 1, 2, then we had another one here. Check that out. It's like it was bouncing back and forth between these 2 points. Check it out. Loyalty Island 6.0. Okay, that was probably the biggest 4 shock. No, there was a 6.1 here. A 5.7. Okay, now I know these are, you know how I know they're 4 shocks? Look at the time. That one happened at 7:24 Eastern. The big quake happened at 8:20, about an hour later. So these are true 4 shocks. Most people would look at this and be like, man, that's a decent sized quake, and they would keep moving, right? But then we started seeing this and this and this, and I actually shut my computer off probably right after I seen this one. And I got back on here. I was going to go lay down and take a nap, and when I seen that this big one had popped off, I was like, oh man. And, the first thing I do is always click here, and what do I tell you guys? Always look for this box here. Because if it's out over water, that's really what's going to be causing the majority of the damage, if there's going to be any. So this is just a threat. That's all they're saying. So at this point, I can't say, it's been, like I said, an hour and a half now. You would have thought that something would have already been popping off if it was, going to be some kind of big deal. Okay? So, you know, I just want to say that first and foremost. I don't know that there's much else we can do as far as looking at this. But what I do want to do, and I didn't have it pulled up yet, I just wanted to, like I said, I just wanted to pop on here real quick and give you guys a little update on what's happening. I want to show you this real quick. And we're going to look at the time frame of this. This was a solar flare, okay, with the CME with it. Now, the time frame of that, it's going to fall just about when that earthquake hit, okay? So I'm going to go down here, and you're going to see, and push play. This is the absorption rate prediction, okay? So you're going to see a flare. Wasn't a big one. Right there. Okay? So that's the South Atlantic anomaly area. And why is it showing up there? Well, because that's where that's where the Earth was facing the sun at that time. That would have been at 12:08 UTC. So let's compare the earthquakes to that flare. Now, I'm not saying that had, you know, that what caused it. I'm just saying it could have had something to do with it. I don't know. But you really got to go back to the foreshock. Okay, so you would have to go back to, you know, like one of the original foreshocks here, and it would have been this one. And that would have been at 7:24. You add 5 hours to that, what do you get? You get 12:24. What time did that flare happen? 12:08. You guys see that? So 12:08 we have a solar flare that hits over here. Okay? And then we get this stuff start happening over here. So I hope that kind of at least gives some people something to look at, to be like, wow, maybe it did have something to do with it. And again, that's X-ray, guys. I don't know how much X-rays can actually even affect something like that. I don't know that it really can. Now, when we're usually talking about stuff that's going to affect earthquakes, we're talking about CMEs and solar wind, okay? Charged particles. X-rays are not that. X-rays is just simply what I just said. It's a burst of X-ray. That's what we get from flares. The initial blast. So I don't, even though that ties in, and I'm showing you this because even though it ties in time-wise, I don't think that flare had anything at all to do with this earthquake. Okay, it would have to be a CME hitting us at that time. Not the initial X-ray blast from a flare. So, what's the next question? Well, the next question would be, you know, we got aurora here, so we do have some geomagnetism happening. But, just like Mr. Goody was saying a minute ago, I'm going to show you guys this flare. Because there was a CME with it, and did it have anything to do with that filament I was showing you guys yesterday? And I have to say that the sunspot right next to the filament is what flared, and you could see the energy go down that filament, that big one, the big filament I showed you guys yesterday. It fired a flare off, and then it interacted with that filament and got drawn back to the sun. It's pretty interesting. Let me show it to you here real quick. So, you know, what does that mean? Well, that filament could be getting ready to let go. What's happening is when that sunspot flared, even the fact that it's in close proximity to that filament, that sunspot, it makes it unstable. Okay, that whole area of the sun became unstable because of those two features on it. That filament I showed you guys, and the sunspot that had just appeared, like it wasn't even an official sunspot yet. So let me show it to you. These things are loading up. Let them load up here, and again I'll show them to you here. Okay, we can look at this. This is stereo A. Remember, stereo A is here. Earth would be over here. So let me refresh that. I'm going to refresh that one too. So let's let that reload back up and give us the most up-to-date readings here. So if I pause this, now again, this is a side view of the sun. We're over here. So if I go forward and we go to our time, now notice, remember what I've been talking about for a long time about when we have a big CME or flare on one side of the sun? Almost every time we'll have one 180 degrees on the other side that's smaller or as big. Not typically bigger, but usually it's about the same size or close to it. And we had a big CME blow off the backside of the sun yesterday. Well, right before this flare happened. You can see it right here. Watch. Okay, you're going to see it over here. See that? That's that. Oops. That's that CME that blew off the back. Now we go forward in time. Look what starts happening over here. That's the beginning of a CME. That's a flare with the CME behind it. Okay? It is coming in our general direction. I don't know if it's coming right at us yet. I can't say that yet. It's too early to tell. So let me show it to you on the captures of the sun here. And I think I want to show it to you on... Well, this one will work really well. And so will this one. So I'm going to zoom in here. Here's the flare, the sunspot that flared. Now remember, here's that big solar tornado, vortex, whatever you want to call it, whatever terminology you want to use. Essentially, it's a filament standing up on top of the sun, reaching out, and it could snap off at any time. So this thing here flares, and when it does, it actually reacts with this filament, and you can see it go down it. So that right there, we're in SDO eclipse season. So the Earth is passing in front of the satellite there. Becomes in front of the satellite, and the sun gets in between it. In other words, the satellite's kind of on the dark side of the Earth at this time. It's still trying to keep its eye on the sun, and I've explained that a lot of times, but watch right here. See that? So that, I know it don't look too impressive right there, but watch it. It's going to flare, and then you're going to see the CME after it. Okay? Now, when this thing flares and you get that CME, watch back here. That's that filament. Okay? This energy gets transferred over. They're reacting with each other. And it goes right down that magnetic connection line back down to the sun. Watch. I know it's hard to see, but we get that and that. Right here is where you get to see it more on the filament side. See that? So the energy transferred that direction. With that being said, this is making this whole area of the sun unstable. So we don't want, positives and positives and negatives and all kinds of crazy stuff hitting each other. When it does, it most definitely says, watch out, because I might pop off there. And hey, Hilly, good seeing you here, buddy. I ain't seen you in a minute, man. Hope you're getting your schedule worked out. Didn't you say your wife had a different schedule now, and you had to switch yours around a little bit? That's what we do, right? But this shows you the eclipse too, right here. See it? And again, that's just the Earth getting in front of in between the satellite and the sun. That's all that it is. So let me zoom in here. You'll be able to see it really well on this one because the filament shows up really good. So here's the sunspot. Here's the filament. Okay? So keep your eyes right here. I'm going to zoom in real far just so you guys get a good look at this thing. So let me grab that, do that like this. Okay, so watch it flare, and then you'll see the energy go down this thing. Okay, that was the initial. See that? It lights up in this area. You'll see it flare, and then this whole area will light up. I'm going to take it back. Now watch. Flare. Okay, that's probably as bright as the flare got. And you're going to see it kind of make a little like circle here. But then it reacts with this filament. You can see it going down this filament. See it? Happens really fast, but that's what happened. Okay? Yeah, I'm rocking it back and forth. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty good. So, why does that matter? Well, it matters because, like I said a minute ago, now we do know that this is unstable. It's now active. So, with this thing being Earth-facing, we don't want this thing to blast off and hit us. We really don't. It's a pretty decent-sized one. So, and like I said, you know, this is a magnetic connection line, and this is how the plasma travels, the charged particles. And whenever you see a flare, sometimes you don't get a CME with it, but we did here. And the reason why I know that happened was because of stereo A. Okay, if we didn't have a CME after the flare, you wouldn't see this brightness happening right here. Remember, when a flare pops off, the initial blast, the X-rays are here and gone in roughly 8 minutes. Okay, so you got a flare happening, and then you get that, the big ball behind it, that is still erupting. See that? If that was the flare, it would be off the screen already. So that's a CME. That's accompanying that flare. So whether or not this is coming right at us, I don't know yet. We don't have enough data yet. I checked this a minute ago to see if it updated. Nope. What it did do, though, it did show you the backside one. Okay? And that was a substantial one. It wasn't a chump, that's for sure. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's really what I wanted to show you guys. I just wanted to give you guys a little heads up about what was going on with that, and show you what I was seeing. Also, guys, we're going to have to pay attention to this coronal hole. It's definitely reached up far enough now towards the equator that we're going to probably connect to this if we ain't already. In about 3 or 4 days, we're going to get some solar wind from that, most likely. Now, check out the filament here. Look how it almost branches off. You see that? And here's that sunspot. So with those things in such close proximity to each other, man, we got to watch it. We got to. I mean, yeah. No doubt we have to watch it. So, yeah. Man, I just don't, yeah. I don't like it when it's unstable like that. I mean, it just is what it is. It's nothing to be like scared about or nothing. But yeah, I mean, we get a big filament. If it's powerful enough, it could give us some issues. Especially when we've seen it, like I said, when you see it on stereo A like this. Somewhere else we can go look at stereo A. Let's go do that real quick. We can look at it on seeds. This will give us the black and white view too. Only difference here is usually this isn't updating fast enough like the other one does. You see a little bit of it over here. Okay, so that's definitely a CME though, guys. All right, it was with that flare. So let's check out the earthquake again, see if anything else is happening. Yeah, it looks like we're still having aftershocks, guys. We're going to. Look at all this. That right there is probably why the tsunami threat is still there. That's a lot. That's quite a bit. So let's go back to the, let's see, did I X out the buoy center? I can just click off of these. I guess I did. Hold on a minute. Let's something else we can look at real quick. We can look at the seismos. My guess is all of them are going to be black. Yep. See? This is a global thing. Alright? When you get an earthquake that big, it rings through the whole planet. And this right here is telling you, yes, this rang through the whole planet. And you can definitely see there was two different separate events here. But this one, yeah, this is in Samoa. So the closer you get to the epicenter, the darker usually these seismos become. But you're going to see it on every one of them. Because it did. It rang through the whole planet. Look at that one. That's in the Ukraine. So, if we go back here and we take a look at this. And just to give you guys a timeline, I want you guys to understand this because this is important. Look at this, okay? Up to when we got that first initial one that was over here. Look what's going on. We have these are small. I'm talking in the 3 range. We had like a really dead spot here. And then all of a sudden, we get this 5-6. And that was at 3:30 in the morning about 7 hours ago. Okay? And that was right here. Then we get this one. That was up here. So we go from here to here. To down here. Right here, I mean. Where was that one at? Okay, that one was right here. So everything is happening right here. In this area. Okay? More equatorial than it is towards the poles. So you get, and then you get another one right there. You get one here. That was the first one that was down towards the Loyalty Islands. So with that being a 6, and then you get a 5-7, when you see a 6 and you see a 5-7 behind it, what do you think that is? Usually you think this is the initial biggest blast you're going to see, because now you got one right behind it that's smaller. Well, that ain't what happened. We had a 6, then we had a 5-7, then it jumped up to a 6-2, then a 6-1, and then the big one popped. So it wasn't something that happened immediately. It took it some time. From right here at this 6, that was at 7:24, and then the big one was almost an hour later. Okay, those are true foreshocks. Now, hindsight's 20/20 when we're talking about that kind of stuff. Okay, with big ones, sometimes you don't get too much of a foreshock warning, or any earthquake for that matter. But they do happen, and they do happen. They happen a lot, but a lot of people overlook them because they think it's something different. They don't realize that it's actually tied to that. This is real easy to see. This is all one big event that's still ongoing, and this is gonna be shaking for a while. Okay, and that's probably why they're leaving this tsunami threat up still. So let me go back to the buoys. We'll take a look at the buoys one more time. And yeah, it's right there, isn't it? I need to give me a shortcut to that. Really? A 7.9? Wow. Huh. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Nibby says his data shows a 7.9. But yeah, I mean, well, check this out, guys. You know, like I said, guys, it was here. And when I showed you guys this a little while ago, this one wasn't going off. So it does look like, you know, I don't want to say that there ain't no tsunami threat right now. But if it's out that far already, I would think if there was going to be some big, huge one, it would have already have happened. I don't know. I hate to say any of that when I don't really have the knowledge to be able to tell you, you know, that kind of a thing is over. But, you know, especially if we're going to have more. If we're having more earthquakes, obviously, you know, there's always a threat that any of that stuff can continue. So I don't know, you know. But again, these buoys are in event mode right now. And when we first looked at it, remember, it was kind of right here. Just these three. And it looks like, you know, the energy may have transferred on out. So whatever there was with the tsunami threat probably is already dissipating, I would think. And again, they're probably leaving the tsunami threat thing up there just because they know that there's possibilities. Well, it's evident that there's more earthquakes still happening. It's still shaking, is what I'm trying to say. I know. Yeah, spit it out, Mark. Just saying. Hey, Axe, what's up? Angela holding it down in the Bronx for me, baby. That's right, VW. Jennifer, Tam. So, yeah, guys, I just wanted to bring that to you real quick because that's substantial news, guys. But, again, it wasn't over a highly populated area, and the biggest thing that could probably happen from this would have been some sort of a tsunami. And when you see this, there's at least a small chance when they're leaving this up here like this. And that's really what, you know, I'm kind of showing you guys. I want you guys to understand that. But there's nothing to freak out about. And again, a solar flare is not going to cause an earthquake, not the x-rays from a solar flare. That's just not going to happen. But, you know, a big CME blasting us, I think, can, you know, add some stuff to it, but an x-rays won't. Okay, so, and I showed you guys that even though the time frames kind of lined up, it wasn't exactly, did not really worry about that part of it because the x-ray really, it's not going to add anything to what we're seeing right here with earthquakes. Okay, again, those x-rays are here and gone. Well, they're here in roughly around 8 minutes from a flare. And again, that flare wasn't big either. I don't even know if it got into C class. It might have got to like a C1 or something. But it wasn't, you know, nothing huge. But it did produce a CME with it. So that'll be here in the next few. If it's coming our direction, it'll be here. I give it 2 or 3 days, maybe 4, depending on how fast it's moving. And judging by stereo A, it kind of looked like it was moving kind of slow. But that's just me visually seeing it. I don't have any speed data to give you. But yeah, you can kind of draw a line here, and it kind of looks like it might have, but it, you know, high B class, low C class. Well, I'm not going to sit here and split hairs. It's not that big of a deal. That's what I'm trying to say. The CME behind it is really what could give us some kind of space weather, I would think. But cause, you know, remember, we go down here and we look at this absorption. This is all it did. Okay, you know, you see how strong it is here. So it just, yeah, it didn't do much. The x-rays from it didn't. So yeah, guys. Just kind of, you know, like I said, guys, just kind of keep up on this. Anybody, if you guys have people down here living, you know people down there, Susan Ann was in here. She lives on the east coast of Australia. She said she did not feel it. So that's, but she said it's nighttime over there, early hours. So nobody was up moving around. And like I said, guys, it would have been just like, hey, I kind of felt a small rumbling. Oh, what was it, a B5.7? Okay, thank you. The flare was a B57. So, yeah, it didn't even get to a C class. So, it's not a big deal, guys. Please don't make a big deal about that. That's just not even, really not even part of it, I guess. But again, let me reiterate, it did have a CME behind it. So, we'll just have to wait and see, wait for the data to come in. The CME tracker hasn't updated since that, but it did show, like I said, it showed the one that popped off the back. That one didn't look to be too intense, but again, it was, I don't know if we have the proper detectors back here to really see how strong that actually is. I'm not sure how accurate it is actually on the backside. One thing interesting here is, though, that the Parker SP is in position to catch that CME. Looks to be, anyway. I wonder if it's going to get some data from that. I'm sure it will. But, yeah. Thanks, Hilly. I appreciate that, bud. Yeah, Hilly dropped my PayPal link in there. If you guys want to help me out, great. If not, all good. Never expected, always appreciated. I appreciate all you guys. Sorry about the thumbnail being kind of sucky. Yeah. Nibby says, the 2 CMEs, no data yet. Yeah. Off the back, you can kind of see what he's talking about here. You can see 2 of them. So they were separate from one another, but they're kind of blending in as they further go out. But, be interesting to see. And, yeah, so Stereo A is there, Earth is here, just to give you guys a reference if you guys are wondering. And remember, this is the NASA model, so the NASA model would be different from the NOAA model, which is Enlil over here. And this really isn't a CME detector, this is just detecting space, basically solar wind conditions. You got velocity and density, that's all it's showing you. It's showing you some spirograph stuff here too, but this is NOAA, and then you got a NASA. They're 2 different models, guys. They're probably using similar data, but the models are set up in a way that their predictions are different. That's all. Thanks, Nicole. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do. I had to change my get this, guys. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. I got a video editor that came with my computer, okay? So I paid for the video editor when I bought the computer. And it had some, some just generic music stuff on it you could add to a clip or whatever. So I found that kind of like disco sound thing, that jazzy sound thing I was playing there. And the stupid thing was copyrighted. You believe that? It's ridiculous. I mean, it's not even, it was copyright. Of course, it's not going to hurt my channel or anything because I don't monetize. It just said my video wasn't able to monetize. But sometimes it'll limit where it gets out in different countries too if it's copyrighted. Like anybody that does any kind of videos or anything, don't ever try to use a Billy Joel song. That is one of the worst copyrighted things I've ever seen in my entire life. And it ain't just me saying that. I mean, Billy Joel himself is like anal about that. And I get it. I mean, you make that music and you know, it's yours. I get it. With the digital age, you can't, nobody's out buying, CDs and records and tapes and stuff anymore. They got to make their money somehow. I get it. But, man, because that's what it was doing. I used We Didn't Start the Fire, that song. And it came back, but it didn't block my video or nothing. It just blocked it from some of the countries overseas, and I didn't want it to do it, so I took it out because I got viewers all over the place. So that's why I took it out of there. But I couldn't believe that stupid. It came on my computer. It's like you can tell that it's not like it's a well-known DJ or group, or it's just music too. It's not, doesn't have any lyrics with it. So I have to change it, and that's why I went back to that old one for a minute. I'm going to generate, and I say all that because I'm going to put the donation list up there on it. And that's what I was working on. Then I had to change everything. So, but anyway, with that being said, guys, I really appreciate all you guys. Nicole, you're awesome, and everybody in here is awesome. Thanks to my mods. By the way, thank you guys. Yesterday for taking care of all that crap that came in at the first of my live stream. You know, I never ever, boot anybody out of here for their ideas of what they believe. You guys know that. But when they come in here and they just put Earth is flat 100 times in a row, spamming my chat with that stuff, what am I supposed to do with that? You know what I mean? I try to be as nice as I can. You can believe the Earth's flat. I ain't going to be mad at you. I don't think it is, but that's just me. And probably 3/4 of the country. But thank you, mods, for doing that. That was, your guys' fingers were busy because they kept coming back in here in sock accounts. It was almost laughable. It really was. So, and again, like I said, I don't impede on anybody's views. They could come in here and believe the Earth's flat, talk about it all they want in here, as long as they're not calling people idiots. That's what they did. They jumped in here and said, "You idiots think the Earth's a globe," and all the calling people names and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even really have to say much. The mods just were on top of that one. You guys were on that one, so thank you. I appreciate it. But small waves in Kingston? Really? Is that Australia? Sean, is that? Probably. I would think. Hey, Julie, what's up? Yeah, it is, Julie, when they do that kind of stuff. It really is. Yeah, I love the mods too, Nicole. Thank you for giving them a compliment. So, yeah. So, guys, anybody that has a channel, I'm telling you, if they don't have mods, they can't do it. They can't. They can't concentrate on what they're trying to share, their information, their content, whatever they're doing. There's no way they can concentrate when they're in there trying to watch the chat like that and, put people on timeout, ban them, whatever they're doing. But, my mods are on it. So, thank you. Marie, thank you. Axe, thank you. I mean, and all my other mods are. Hilly's in here. Arizona's in here. Who else did I miss? Tab's in here. Jerry, Angelo, holding it down the Bronx. CW's in here. That's right. So, yeah, and anybody else I missed, I appreciate you guys. So, oh, it's in Australia? Yeah, Kingston, Australia. Okay. I'm assuming that's probably on the East Coast, I would imagine, or close to it. So, yeah. Well, let's look at this one more time, and then we'll shut this stream down. Let's let this thing update. Let's go here, see if it's still got the tsunami threat going on. Yeah. We can look at that's the helioplots. Hold on a minute. Let me refresh this page and see if it gives us anything different. Doesn't look like it. And again, you guys can click on these. It's all you got to do is click on the triangle. And it'll give you wave heights and things like that. They're set to a whatever perimeter they're set to, and when they breach that size, they'll actually, they'll start blinking. Now, if you guys are ever going to go over here and look at this for yourself, what I would suggest is that just because it's blinking, like say you just came on here and there wasn't nothing going on, and you seen like 2 or 3 of these blinking in the same area, and you didn't see anything about an earthquake or anything like that, sometimes these things malfunction. Okay? Matter of fact, we've had them malfunction lots. I mean, they're come on, guys. I mean, they're machines. They will malfunction. So, don't get all freaked out if you come on here and one of them's blinking. Just do the research or just do a little quick Google, whatever. Go check for earthquakes and stuff. And if nothing else is going on, you can pretty much chalk it up as some sort of a technical thing. So, I'm really trying to help everybody understand that because I think it's important. I used to be the same way. I'd jump right off, and I had to learn patience, guys. You got to learn some patience. There's nothing we can do to stop anything anyway. It's already sat in motion. It's like the whole CME thing. So a lot of people are out there just trying to be the first ones out there so they get clicks and views. And when you start doing that with like CMEs, that's why I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, that thing's going to hit us. I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to tell you is exactly what I seen, which is it does look to be Earth facing, but it does not mean that it's going to hit us. It could miss us to the south, east, west, north, whatever. We don't know the angle of it yet. And none of the tools are showing it yet. So we can't just jump out there and say, that thing's coming at us. But I used to do that. And that's what I'm saying. That was a mistake I made, and I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. There's no sense in it because it takes roughly, on average, 3 to 4 days for those things to get here anyway. We got time to talk about it. Hey, Marie, you're good. I'm telling you, guys. Everybody's good in here. I'm telling you. Yeah. I couldn't have a better group of people. I really couldn't. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, guys, I mean, it's going to get cold, just so you guys know. I showed you guys the polar vortex. It's split. That doesn't happen very often. But when it does, man, wow, does the weather change. It brings that North Pole atmosphere down here to where I'm at in Indiana. And man, because they're talking about -9, -10, -11 actual temperature this weekend where I'm at. That's cold. That's stuff that we typically would see at the beginning of January or in the middle. And we're going on what is today, the 10th or the 11th of February? 10th, I think. So yeah. That's right. That's right, Tam Tam. Greatest show on earth. Heck yeah. Alright, guys. I am going to go ahead and kill it here. You guys have a great day. I'll probably try to come back later on tonight, maybe give you guys an update, and we'll check it out, okay? If I see anything going on, I'll definitely, I'll get back on here and let you guys know if it's something that's, crazy. I just know that when something like that pops off, a 7.7, that's newsworthy, guys. That ain't something that gets ignored. That's an earthquake. That is something we should talk about. And, and I imagine everybody already is. I haven't really even, I think I seen Mr. MBB3 did a video. That's really the only one I seen, because I was just trying to get mine up here and going. So I'd shut everything down. I was getting ready to go lay down. But nope. Really? Warning? A tsunami warning. Current for Lord Howe Island. Wow. Where's that at? What country or what? Where about geographically is that? I could type it in, I guess. Off Australia's east coast? Okay. Yeah, it's kind of what... Hey, Susan Ann, are you still in here? Are you? How close are you to Lord Howe Island? You said you were on the east coast of Australia. I'm just curious. There it is right there. There's Lord Howe Island. And she says she's on the east coast of Australia here. Wow. Actual warning. Huh. Yeah, guys, we'll keep an eye on that. You know, I guess there's not really much I could yeah. Yep. This was issued by the Australian Government Bureau of Meteorology. It says marine warning here. Huh. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to definitely keep an eye on that. I mean, that's definitely in the position we would think, because here's the earthquake. So, you know, just like the buoys here were showing us, like I was showing you guys, you know, when you get out from center, let's just let's re-up that. You know, so when you got it here, you know, everything is spreading out from the epicenter, and that's exactly what you would kind of see, I would think. You know, I guess you could kind of look at it like dropping a big rock in a bowl of water or something. That's really kind of what it looks like. I know that's a very, very simple way to look at it, but everybody understands that, I guess. Huh. Yeah, I mean this is a significant event, guys. This isn't something that's it's not like, you know, catastrophic or anything, but it's significant enough that, you know, when you get a 7.7 or a 7.9, whatever it comes in at, you know, officially at the end of all this, it definitely yeah. we gotta, you know, take heed and look. I'll tell you what we can do here real quick. Somebody mentioned the Schumann. Now, remember, guys, the Schumann's a regional tool, okay? The one I'm going to show you is the one that's in Russia, okay? But it doesn't mean that it won't react. If it's changed the resonance, you know, if an earthquake goes all the way through the planet like it typically does with these big ones, it's not unusual to see the human do something. Where's human at? This is what we had yesterday. Remember? Okay. Yeah, nothing really right here current. So, yeah, it's not really. This isn't really picking much of nothing up. But remember, the resonance that you're talking about here is between our it's sandwiched in between our ionosphere and the surface of the Earth. Okay, you know, stuff does happen out in the ocean sometimes and can affect this, but the vibrations that it's picking up is actually in our atmosphere. It's what it's resonating in between those two things. So. Hey, what's going on, Bobby? All right, Susan. Stay safe. If you're over on that side of the world, please stay safe. Yeah, we had a pretty decent earthquake there, Bobby. There's some tsunami stuff going on. I don't know how big or how bad, but there is some stuff happening. So, we're just trying to keep an eye on it. Oops. So yeah, guys, I think I am going to go ahead and end it though. I don't really have much more to show right now. If anything else happens and I see it, I'll definitely come back on. I'm going to have to go lay down for a few minutes. I'm about dead tired. So, I do appreciate you guys. Like I said before, thank you guys. Nicole, thank you. Thanks to all my mods, Pam, Bobby, Clarissa, anybody else in here? Nibby, Angela. Oh, really? Huh. Nibby says, sea level observations have confirmed a tsunami has been generated. Wonder how big. Wow. Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this, guys, okay? I'm not going to stay live through all this because it can take some time. If I see something else come through, I'll definitely let you guys, I'll bring it to you guys. But sometimes, when the tsunamis are generated, I'm not sure exactly, what the parameters are as far as when they start, getting really, really bad stuff. But yeah, if it's been confirmed like that, definitely. Wow, we got to keep an eye on that stuff. So anyway, guys, God bless. Tab, prayers for Tabs, guys. Prayer for Tab and everybody else over there too. Tab is going through some stuff. Keith and Queen Brat, most of you guys know. Not big. Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. He said it wasn't big. It was a 0.11 meters. Yeah, that's not very big. So, that's why they don't have the big warnings out. I mean, if it was huge, obviously they would be. Yeah. So, thank God it didn't hit in some highly populated area. So yeah. Alright, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.